Let me ask you a question. What do you know about Connoreek? Well, does he prefer waffles or pancakes? Does he sleep with his blanket tucked in or not tucked in? Well, I guess he hovers, so not tucked in. Is he single? I'm only asking for a friend of mine, but really, these are all questions we need to have answered, and the only way to do that is to find out who he was during his lifetime. Maybe he's even still alive today, who knows? So today, I'm actually going to provide a few theories that may just lead us to finding this out. So, starting off with probably the safest, and of course the most boring idea, there is no Connoreek, the secret dragon priest mask that can only be obtained by going to Bromjanar Sanctuary with all 8 other dragon priest masks, was in fact not worn by anyone. Now, this name, Connery, which translates to Warlord, was actually a gift to whomever was strong enough to take down all these other priests. However long that might take, well, it did take a few eras, but the job got done, didn't it? And just like the dragons imbuing each of these priest masks with magical powers, they did the same for this one. But why would they do that for someone who's killing off their servants? Wouldn't they be pissed? Well, dragons respect power, they live on it. Perhaps they felt that if someone was truly able to do this, they could become the dragon's next champion of sorts, a stronger hand to control all the people of Tamriel. Little did they know the same person would be their demise, but essentially that's the idea. Connoreek was never worn by anyone else, and has been reserved for you after all this time. So I ask again, do you prefer waffles or pancakes? Really? Oh, I didn't expect that from you. But the thing is, that's not really much of a reward, is it? We can do better than that. Let's move on to Miraak. There's an idea that he used to be Connoreek, and he was given the title of Warlord because he was the first Dragonborn. With that kind of power, of course he'd be able to rule over the other priests, and why he isn't currently wearing that mask now is just a matter of revolution. He doesn't need what the dragons gave him. He can get a much more powerful mask as well as armor from Hermaeus Mora. Well, actually, in comparison, the mask really isn't that great, plus horns are a lot cooler than tentacles, but anyway, that's not important. If you do like this idea, however, there are a couple problems that you might have to work out. First, who would build a shrine to a traitor like Miraak? And if he did still have worshippers back when he was a dragon priest, well, how would they get that power to create a shrine that can only be activated with the other 8 masks? It definitely seems like only a dragon, or at least someone very powerful, could have made that happen. Plus, it would be the only mask not named after its owner, and I don't know if it's just the dragon's OCD or not, but they really don't like that. It is so inappropriate to them. But again, if you can clear some stuff up, Miraak could very well have been Connoreek. Now, moving on to another theory, Connoreek is in fact you. Yes, I will clarify. However, just before I do, I ask again, do you sleep with your blanket tucked in or not tucked in? Really? I just didn't expect that from you, that's all. Anyway, you used to be Connoreek, or rather, let's say Connoreek used to be you. Let's take a step back for a second. You know how there's a dragon priest known as Valak the Jailer who doesn't have a mask? He's the only one. And you know how he was the one who defeated Miraak in his initial revolt against the dragons. Well, how does he have enough power to go up against the first ever Dragonborn? Valak had to have been a Dragonborn himself. And this makes sense as to why he was such a good leader, why he was so good at bridging that gap between dragon and man, and why the dragons respected him so much. Of course they would make him the leader of the priests. Now, after this happens, he swears an oath to the dragons that he'll watch for Miraak's return. Problem is, he's been stinking in a crypt for hundreds of years, while Miraak has been growing stronger and stronger with Hermaeus Mora. And the dragons know this, so to come up with a resolution, Valak's soul becomes reincarnated into another Dragonborn's body, one that's a lot more powerful to uphold this sacred oath. And that's you, the last Dragonborn. You were meant all this time to kill the other dragon priests, right? Reclaim your old mask, go to Solstheim, kill Miraak once and for all, and finish what you said you were going to do. Valak, you are returned to your old glory. And the only reason his former dragon priest body still attacks you is just because the soul is completely gone. It's empty. It's no more than a zombie attacking purely out of function. So essentially for this one, you are Connoreek because you have the soul of Valak the Jailer. Now, I have to say I really like that one. There's a lot of imagination in it, but there is one final theory I have before you make up your mind, okay? Connoreek used to be Archmage Shalador. So I ask again, Shalador, are you single? I'm only asking for a friend of mine. Really? Wow. That is dirty. But the idea here is this. As you might know, Shalador built the maze that Labyrinthian is named after. He was there. He had a connection to it. He also had a great interest in dragons. If you were to translate Shalador's insights, much of it deals with information on dragons. He's also presumed to have lived for hundreds of years because of an artifact known as the Glamoral, which is said to have been stolen from Akatosh himself. So with those out of the way, the theory essentially is this. Shalador was the most powerful of the dragon priests. When the dragon cult had been defeated, instead of just waiting around for his turn, he fled to Winterhold with the artifact Glamoral. And in fact, this is the wooden mask. The one you need to get to the shrine, that mask with the ability to alter time is the secret to life. It's Glamoral. So he goes out to the glaciers, right, builds a fortress of ice, and it's there that he realizes the wrongdoings of living his life like a dragon priest. He was meant for so much more. A great mage, say. So he goes to Winterhold to begin construction on what we now know as the college. The thing is, he's got some of his own business to attend to, so eventually he makes Galder the next archmage, and then travels back to Labyrinthian to build the famous Shalador's Maze. And sure, to be used as a testing ground for aspiring mages, that's a pretty good excuse to go there, but really, it was to hide his old mask, Connoreek, and lock it away, only to be reached again with the wooden mask, also known as Glamoral. Now, why would he leave such a powerful artifact like that out in the open is a pretty good question, but the way I look at it is this. Just like dragons, he respects power, right? He figures if anyone is strong enough to destroy the other dragon priests and then use this ancient artifact like he did to retrieve his old mask, this person is unlike any other. He could contact them at a later date, just popping up with his soul kind of as a ghost like many other people do, and try to recruit them for his own purposes, help him with any, magical responsibilities that he has going on. Maybe even some feud he has with some of the other Daedric princes, who knows? So in conclusion, it's this. Shalador used to be Connoreek, and he hid away his mask as a test to see if someone is powerful enough to ever find it. Now, I can't make a video like this and not put in my own 2 cents, so here it is. I like all of these theories, but I have to say that I think the last one, Shalador being Connoreek, is the most creative, has the most evidence, and is the best option if you want something with a bit more imagination. However, if you do think all of these are a bit too extravagant and you want something more safe, I think a good option is that no one is Connoreek, and that the mask was created by the dragons to eventually reward you and all of your efforts. So there you have it. Who is Connoreek? Well, I've listed what I think are the 2 strongest theories, but you've got another 2 if you still want some options. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and down below please tell me, who do you think Connoreek was? Alright, thank you very much for watching, and assuming that I go with myself being Connoreek, I can finally find out what I've been dying to know. I prefer pancakes over waffles, I sleep not tucked in, and am I single? Well, that's up to you to find out, gorgeous. Why don't you come over to my shrine and I'll tell you.